Hey YouTube, today I'm going to come to you with a tutorial as far as how I am going to do a sew-in.
So let's get right to it. What I've done is I've washed, moisturized, and blow dried my hair. If you want to see how I do that, you can check out my videos on my mud wash or my blow dry. And now I'll move to the next step.
So this is basically step 2 of the sewing process. I have completed my braiding pattern. This will be a complete full enclosure, so I am not leaving, as you notice, I don't leave any hair out. I like to braid in a circular motion, so I'm going to zoom in and let you see. And basically I take the final braid and I loop it, and I just take my thread and basically sew it in and tack it. I like to use a circular pattern for several reasons. First, it's just easy for me to braid that way. Second, there are no loose ends, no major braids, and then you'll notice that the thing that's most important is the first braid, in my opinion. Because I am not doing leaving any hair out, I wanted to braid my edges backwards so you can see some hair, and what's going to eventually happen is that I'm going to have different my edges kind of come out, and that's just the way I like it. You can do it however you want. This is the easiest pattern for me. I'm going to have an invisible part, so you'll be able to see that. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be using the Outre Soul Bohemian Curl. I'm going to be using 3 bags. I'm going to use 2 bags of the 12-inch and 1 of the 10-inch. And
so let's get to sewing. As you can see, I've taken the entire first 12-inch bag, and now I am showing you that I'm just going to double loop the hair. Because I have so many bags of hair, I'm not going to do a single strand, I'm going to double it. So I'm not going to do any cutting. I'm just going to take the hair and double it and start my sewing. To sew, I am going to make sure I have a needle with it's maybe double or triple threaded at the end, and I'm going to begin attaching the hair to the braid, starting in the back first. As you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to string it, and then I am going to create a knot by taking the needle through the loop. I'll show this to you one more time. So I'm going to take it. As you can see, I am stringing it through the loop. This creates a knot feature which helps keep the hair tightly in place. I'm going to continue this process until I get to the very end of the braid, and from there I'm going to loop the hair until the next braid, just simply connecting it over with no cutting. Continue to sew from the back, working my way towards the front and keeping the same method of making sure I knot my hair and working it around. So I'll continue this process, sewing around, and then show you what it looks like after I get the first 2 bags in. Okay, so I have the first 2 bags in. As you can see, this is my pattern. You can see it's kind of laying flat on the hair. So let's start with the 3rd bag. This will be the 10-inch bag. So I have 2 12 inches. This will be the 10-inch bag. I am going to double half of this bag. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take half of this, and I'm going to double half of it. I'm only going to use the double layer for half of the hair, because once I get closer to the front, I want a single loop, single layer. So as you can see, I'm just going to cut it from there, and I'm going to continue to sew as I have been, laying the hair flat, attaching it, and working my way around. So I'm working towards the front of the hair now. I wanted to show you what I do with the front of the hair. I want you to see that I basically just fill in the braids. There are three braids of my braid pattern, and I work the front end by going back and forth, kind of in a zigzag motion, basically just looping the hair back and forth over the braids to create that full front bang look. And then eventually I will take the hair around and create a circular pattern. But I want to work the front section, and then I'll move around to show you what it looks like once I start creating the circular pattern. This is very important when sewing because you want to make sure you get the fullest look possible. Okay, so now I'm starting with the circular pattern. So I wanted to show you how I take this and cross it over. So towards the part where I have my side part, I want to take the hair and basically just move it to the other side. You'll still be able to see the part, but this is what basically creates a more natural part look. So I have the hair will be able to cover up the braids, and I will be moving over to create that full look, still showing the part. So I do this a few times, moving the hair in a circular pattern now. So I'm working around that center braid, the center console of the braid. Okay, so I am pretty close to being finished. I want you to see what it looks like, just giving you a close-up, having a full look. And then I want you to take a really good look at the center section where there's basically kind of like a center hole. This is where I'm going to put my enclosure in. So let's show you how to create the enclosure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the remaining hair. I'm going to create this enclosure. I'm going to build it. So I'm going to take the remaining hair, and I'm basically going to start it off. I'm going to basically just create a circle. So the first step is I'm going to just fold the hair slightly over, just creating a maybe oval, more so oval pattern. And I am going to sew the hair together, the first few loops, and just kind of sew the hair together. And then from there, I am just going to continue that. I'm going to continue sewing in a circle, looping the hair over and connecting the track until the next track over. This will help me create my enclosure. So this is what the final enclosure looks like. It's basically just rolled hair sewn together, and then I'm going to take this from the center, flatten the hair and move it around from the center, so you can just basically just flip it over and just kind of work it through, flattening it out. And I'm going to position it in that center where you see I left that center hole basically at the top of my hair. So you want to really try to get the hair in there, laying it flat. And I'm just going to simply sew this in. Now, because it's such a thick, tight spot and the hair so the enclosure so thick and tight together, you're going to have to work with it and try to work it in. So basically, you just want to position the hair correctly and just work it in, trying to sew, get it sewn in. I usually kind of work from the center and work it to the outside, connecting it to that open space into the remaining braids. This will give you the fullest look, kind of covering up the part and not showing any braids. And this is what makes me have the full enclosure look. So that's basically it. And I am just going to probably post some pictures to show you what it looks like. I am not going to fluff my hair out towards the end because I like the hair. I'm going to try to keep this as long as possible. So for me to prevent, a lot of tangles, I'm just going to let the hair basically fluff out on its own. But if you want a really, really full fluffed out look, you can just take the hair and simply fluff it out from there. And that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great one.